That's not
Yeah.
you don't see many people doing Ingve tributes. I remember being, I think I was in Lemoore East one night. This is in the '80s, and one guy, he was in there were it was just a band, and this guy, the guitar player, came out and he started doing "Your Ships Are Burned," and I was really surprised. And he did a decent job, but even back then, nobody was attempting to do that stuff. And as a side note, I found Joe online. I think I was in Florida, and I was online looking at YouTube and stuff like that, and all of a sudden, Joe Stump pops up, and I was like, "Joe Stump, who is this?" So I clicked on, and I was like, "Holy shit!" I said, "This guy sounds like Malmsteen." The writing and everything like that, and he was fucking ripping away all this arpeggio stuff. I don't know what group he was in. I don't remember because it's years ago, but that's how I first discovered Joe.
My first, what was your first? My first Joe Stump album was Rapid Fire Rondo.
Okay.
That was my first, that was my introduction to Joe. So we're jumping ahead, and then I went back to listen to it. But what was your first?
This
one?
is like mid 2000.
Excuse me.
Maybe 2005, I think.
Oh, so this was after Shred Odyssey, because when Joe came down to do Joe, you remember when you came down to Wilmington, you 2001 Shred Odyssey. That's what you had.
That was the record after Rapid Fire. Rapid Fire Rondo was 1998.
Yes, and the thing that blew me,
that's where I saw you, Joe. That was my first thing. I was in Media Play. Do you remember Media Play? That it was they sold CDs and everything, and I was picking up. They had the David Wayne record there that I had just done, and I was looking through some other things, and I saw this guy with a Strat. And then I picked it up. I go, Joe Stump. I go, I wonder who this guy is. And so they had your records at Media Play. I remember that. That was like 2001, I think.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's when they used to put CDs in stores back then. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yep.
Well, that's where I got Rapid Fire Rondo. It was at a store. I bought it right from the store. I was like, oh, it's a CD. The Rapid, and I transcribed that motherfucker too. Taught it to all my students. That arpeggio sequence in the beginning.
Yeah, I just remember it was like the song that I was listening to was like really heavy Baroque influence, and he was just ripping on these arpeggio sequences, and I'm like, oh my God, there's another guy out there that can do this shit, And I didn't know who Joe was, and then years later, we ended up doing that guitar expo, whatever the hell we did, and they said, oh yeah, by the way, Joe Stump is coming. I'm like, Joe Stump? Like the Joe Stump? They're like, yeah, Joe Stump. He's coming up, and we know him. And I was like, get out of here.
And then all of a sudden,
I'm going home. And he's like, no, Joe's really cool. He's coming up. He's gonna play with her. I said, oh my God, that'd be a trip. Yeah.
But then you heard this background music. Joe Stump's coming.
But Joe was playing around the area, so I actually got a chance to see him. I went to go see him a few times. He was doing Black Knight's Castle or whatever.
Black Knight's Castle thing.
Yeah. And I remember going, and he had a full stack, and I'm like,
Johnny Z's.
I said,
I used to like, Johnny Z's was a cool place, but
Johnny Z's.
I said, this guy knows how to do it right. I said, look at him.
I walked into Johnny Z's. It's about the size of a closet.
I was like, oh my God, he's a man after my heart.
He's got a full stack. He's got guitars all over the floor. It was insane. I'm going, Joe.
That was so awesome.
What are you doing?
I own all this shit. I want to use it,